Today we will show you 20 people who are one in a million. Here's how these amazing human beings took the adversities and challenges life threw at them to become individuals who truly exemplify what it means to have an unbreakable will. Let's watch it. It's fascinating. Chad Summer. The first time Chad extended his eyes beyond their sockets was at 17 years old. The experience was so terrifying that he decided not to try it again, fearing that one day his eyeballs wouldn't return to their place. For over 2 decades, he kept his strange ability a secret, never imagining it would one day be his ticket to fame. Years later, Chad did it again, but this time with a different perspective. He decided to embrace his unique talent. He immediately created a TikTok profile and began sharing videos that left the world fascinated and horrified by his unusual skill. Soon, he realized he belonged to an exclusive group of people able to expand their eyes beyond their orbits, a talent that very few possess. His thousands of followers inundate him with questions, especially about whether he feels pain while performing these movements. Chad always responds with a smile, assuring them that he feels no pain and explaining that exposing his eyes in this way does not jeopardize his health. Jessica Sestrom. While many girls seek fame as actresses or models, Jessica conquered a much more challenging territory: bodybuilding, a discipline historically dominated by men. This Brazilian athlete broke all molds by sculpting a steel body that not only defies physical limits, but also shatters stereotypes. Jessica's imposing figure has made her a source of inspiration for countless girls who want to start in the world of bodybuilding and prove that strength knows no gender. She admits that the gym is her second home, where she spends countless hours perfecting every muscle, with the sole idea in her mind of looking like a real-life superhero. However, her appearance hasn't been without criticism, as many have accused her of losing her femininity and appearing excessively masculine. But Jessica refuses to be intimidated and responds that her strength does not affect her female identity. "I can be a beast in the gym, but outside of it, I'm a lady," the Brazilian proudly asserts, adding that she loves to wear high heels and stylish clothes just like any other woman. Moreover, she tells all the girls starting in bodybuilding that a woman can be as strong as she wants and still enjoy glamour. Esther Vergeer. At the young age of 6, when children only worry about playing and watching cartoons, this Dutch girl faced a challenge that would change her life forever. A buildup of fluid in her brain caused her to lose consciousness temporarily, and 2 years later, a complicated 9-hour surgery to treat a spinal arteriovenous malformation resulted in a complication that left her paralyzed from the waist down. Facing this new reality was a monumental challenge, as at first, she felt trapped in a world of sadness and frustration, unable to participate in the physical activities she once loved. Fortunately, her parents encouraged her to explore new opportunities, and that's how wheelchair tennis came into her life. What began as an effort to overcome adversity soon transformed into a true passion. In a surprisingly short time, Esther became an invincible legend in adaptive tennis, winning the title of the most dominant player in history by capturing 470 Grand Slam singles tournaments and spending 688 weeks as the #1 in the world ranking. At the same time, she shone in the Paralympic Games, where she brought home 7 gold medals and was world champion for 13 consecutive years. With so many achievements to her name, Esther serves as a powerful reminder that the human spirit can overcome any obstacle and tells us there are no limits to what one can achieve. Kenny Cripps. Living with lamellar ichthyosis means his genetic disorder is as rare as it is challenging. The main characteristic of this disease is that it causes his skin to grow 10 times faster than normal, resulting in thick scales covering his body, making him feel trapped in his own skin. As a congenital condition, there is no cure, so his life is a constant struggle against time. To make life a bit more bearable, he exfoliates his skin daily, moisturizes multiple times, and takes at least 3 showers to prevent his body from overheating. If he doesn't, the scales become thicker and more painful, turning even the simplest movements into torture. For years, Kenny felt isolated, knowing no one who understood his challenges. But everything changed when he met Bobby Wing, a woman who also suffers from lamellar ichthyosis. For the first time in his life, Kenny could share his experiences with someone who perfectly understood what it's like to live in a different skin, and together they discovered that while their bodies may look different, their strength and determination make them unique and unbreakable. Renson Corlew Budd, standing at 6 feet 9 inches tall with legs measuring 52 inches, equivalent to the average height of a 10-year-old child, this young woman, born in Mongolia and living in Chicago, is impossible to ignore. Every step she takes draws the attention of thousands wherever she goes, but it hasn't always been easy for her to walk with such confidence. During her childhood, bullying was a constant shadow, making her feel like her body was more of a burden than a gift. Fortunately, she learned to love every inch of her height and transformed her insecurities into pride, celebrating her unique physique with high heels and shorts that accentuate the impressive length of her legs. What was once a reason for mockery is now her greatest asset, and she loves to highlight her figure even more to challenge conventional beauty stereotypes. Still, living in such a tall body has its challenges, as finding clothes or shoes in her size is often an odyssey, and when she enters buildings with low ceilings, she has more than once emerged with a bump on her head. But everything has a silver lining, as her extraordinary height opened the doors to the modeling world and turned what was once her weakness into the key to success. Mandy Sellers. From the day she was born, this English woman's life has been a journey marked by uncertainty and constant struggle. Over her 49 years, she has visited dozens of doctors seeking answers, but none have been able to determine the cause of her unique condition. Her left leg is 2 inches longer than her right, and both are disproportionately bulky. Upon reaching adulthood, her torso weighed 84 pounds, while her legs reached an impressive weight of 209 pounds and showed no signs of stopping their growth. In a moment of hope, she was diagnosed with Proteus syndrome, an extremely rare disease affecting only 120 people worldwide. However, a later discovery suggested that it might be related to a mutation in the PIK3CA gene, leading her to further question her diagnosis. Mandy's story took an unexpected turn when she contracted septicemia, and doctors decided to amputate her left leg above the knee. Just 3 years later, against all logic, the leg grew back to its original size, with doctors unable to explain how this was possible. Despite the adversity, she refuses to give up and maintains hope that a permanent solution for her condition will be found someday. What stands out about her life is that she did not let the disease take control. She graduated from university, lives independently, and even drives a modified car that can be controlled solely with her hands. At the same time, she channeled her experience into something positive by founding a charity dedicated to helping people with similar conditions. Jack Ayers. At 16, most boys are only worried about music and fashion trends, but Jack faced a monumental decision: to amputate his right leg. This was due to being born with proximal focal femoral deficiency, a rare congenital condition that left him without a knee joint and prevents him from walking properly. After years of pain and frustration, he chose amputation as an opportunity to change his life. But the first few months were not easy, as adjusting to his new reality was emotionally devastating, and there were moments when he felt he would never find his way until one day something changed. Filled with courage, Jack sought out a modeling agency for people with disabilities, which marked a turning point in his life. Modeling restored his confidence to return to the gym, practice sports, and discover his love for a healthy lifestyle. He is now a prominent figure in the fashion industry, combining his career as a fitness model with his role as a social media influencer, inspiring others to overcome their own limitations. But Jack didn't stop there. Just a year after starting kayaking, he was selected for the Great Britain team and won 2 bronze medals at the European Championships, serving as the best example that limits do not exist when it comes to fighting for our dreams. Tanya Lee Davis. Every day in the life of this Canadian has been a constant battle, challenging expectations and facing prejudices. Being born with diastrophic dysplasia, a congenital condition that affects bone and cartilage development, meant her height stopped at 3 feet 6 inches. For this reason, bullying was a part of her daily life during childhood, leading her to dream of a day when bullying would disappear. But even as an adult woman, she continues to face stares and comments from those who do not understand that her worth goes far beyond her appearance. Despite the many obstacles that would crush the spirit of anyone else, Tanya Lee decided to transform difficulties into laughter. With a sharp perspective and irreverent humor, she has become one of the most prominent comedians on the international scene, largely thanks to her dark comedy routine that breaks taboos and makes audiences laugh at what others avoid mentioning. In addition to performing at festivals and theaters, she has starred in productions in Hollywood to show the world that there are no limits to her talent. However, her greatest mission goes beyond entertainment. Through motivational talks, she inspires thousands of people to accept themselves as they are, and always tells them that true success lies not in fitting in, but in being authentic and free from prejudice. Chris Nikic. The story of this young man with Down syndrome is a true feat of perseverance and courage. At 22, he did what very few people even dare to attempt: complete the Ironman triathlon, one of the toughest endurance tests in the world. The challenge consists of swimming 2.4 miles, biking 112 miles, and running 26.2 miles, all within a limit of just 17 hours. Against all odds, Chris completed it in 16 hours, 46 minutes, and 9 seconds, making him the first person with Down syndrome to cross the finish line of this brutal competition. However, the story of this winner goes far beyond the Ironman. His entire life has been a testament to struggle, as at 5 months old, he underwent open-heart surgery and did not learn to walk until he was 4. But adversity never stopped him. Over time, he found in sports a purpose and passion that led him to break personal and social barriers. Among his achievements, he participated in the Boston Marathon, where he ran 26.2 miles in 6 hours, 1 minute, and 22 seconds. Today, Chris inspires thousands with his feats and has a clear motto: to be 1% better every day, reminding everyone that through hard work and faith in their goals, it is possible to overcome challenges that seem impossible. Asya Shabir. She is a 34-year-old woman who has spent her entire life facing the challenges of junctional epidermolysis bullosa, a hereditary disorder causing her skin and internal organs to be so fragile that the slightest touch or movement can trigger painful blisters. But the wounds are not limited to her skin, as these blisters also ooze a sticky pus, causing her to wake up each morning with her skin painfully adhered to her pajamas and sheets. Over the years, the disease has also caused her hair to fall out, but it has never crushed her spirit. Asya's story and her medical challenges began at birth, when doctors told her parents she would not survive beyond a few days. Although discouraging statistics said there was nothing to be done, they refused to let their daughter die. While they could take her home, challenges arose immediately because the blisters on her palate prevented her from being breastfed. To overcome this issue, they devised an ingenious method. They soaked a sponge in breast milk and inserted it into her mouth to feed her and keep her alive. Far from surrendering to her condition, Asya has become an example of resilience and overcoming. Now that she is an adult with all her faculties, she actively participates in charities to give visibility to incurable diseases and has found in social media a space to inspire others. With over 15,000 followers on TikTok, she shares her story of overcoming and demonstrates that despite challenges, life can still be lived with purpose and hope. Nick Vujicic. Destiny is not always compassionate, especially for someone like Nick, who came into the world facing one of the most devastating conditions: tetra amelia syndrome. This means he was born without arms or legs and with only 2 small feet whose toes were fused. The most worrying part is that when he entered the world, doctors told his parents that his life expectancy was just a few days. The reality was that Nick was not ready to say goodbye to the world so soon. Against all odds, he not only survived, but decided that his life would be an example of absolute overcoming. Over the years, he faced pitying stares, days of frustration, and the uncertainty that comes with living in a different body. Still, he graduated in finance, found love, got married, and is the proud father of 4 children to tell the world that physical limitations do not define what a person can achieve. Filled with gratitude for the support he received, he founded Life Without Limbs, an organization that brings hope to those facing similar challenges. Today, Nick travels the world giving motivational talks, reminding everyone that true power does not reside in the body, but in the heart and the will to keep moving forward, no matter what happens. Elise Sasso. After years of medical consultations and misdiagnoses, Elise finally received an answer. She suffers from lymphedema, a chronic condition that causes excessive accumulation of fat and fluids in the legs due to a malfunctioning lymphatic system. The diagnosis was both a relief and a challenge, as the condition began to radically transform her life. Before lymphedema, she lived a normal life, studying nursing and pursuing her dreams. Unfortunately, pain and swelling made it difficult for her to walk, and during her worst moments, she had to remain bedridden or use a wheelchair to get around. Her situation worsened when her clothes stopped fitting, forcing her to knit new garments by hand. Though she knows that overcoming lymphedema is nearly impossible, Elise decided not to be defeated. The first thing she did was accept her body, and she soon founded a nonprofit organization dedicated to raising awareness about this disease. From that moment on, her mission has been to educate and inspire others, and now that she has renewed confidence, she no longer hides her legs and shows them off proudly, knowing that every mark on her skin is a testament to her strength and courage. Ellie Cole. When she was just 2 years old, this Australian faced a challenge that would mark her life forever: a sarcoma wrapped around the nerves in her right leg. After several unsuccessful attempts to eliminate the cancerous tumor with chemotherapy, doctors made the heartbreaking decision to amputate her leg above the knee to save her life. What seemed like the beginning of a life filled with limitations actually transformed into the start of an unparalleled story of perseverance. As part of her rehabilitation, she began taking swimming lessons. At first, her instructors thought it would take her at least a year to learn how to swim straight, but in just 2 weeks, she glided through the water with the skill of a professional. It wasn't long before she participated in her first competitions. The next goal on her list was to compete in the 2012 London Paralympics. Not only did she reach her goal, but she also won 4 gold medals and 2 bronze medals. Throughout her athletic career, she has won 17 Paralympic medals and 10 more at World Championships in adaptive swimming, establishing herself as one of the best swimmers in history. In recognition of her impact on swimming, Ellie was awarded the Order of Australia, the country's highest honor, and in 2015, she received the Sportsperson of the Year award from Cosmopolitan magazine. Bob Coomber. At the age of 20, Bob's life took an unexpected turn when he was diagnosed with diabetes. Unfortunately, the disease did not come alone, as he soon developed osteoporosis, which caused multiple fractures in his legs, knees, and ankles. Unable to walk, he had to adapt to using a wheelchair, and it seemed like the end for someone who had always been an athlete and adventurer with an active lifestyle. With the unbreakable spirit of a true hiker, he refused to give up his passion for the mountains. Determined to continue climbing, he used his experience and determination to achieve what few believed possible: conquering summits from his wheelchair. On August 24, 2007, he made history by becoming the first person in a wheelchair to reach the summit of White Mountain at 14,250 feet. Not satisfied with this historic feat, he also climbed Mount Diablo, which stands at 3,883 feet, and for his perseverance and achievements, he was inducted into the California Hall of Fame. Tanny Gray Thompson. Born with spina bifida, Tanny has been forced to use a wheelchair for mobility since the age of 7. Around the same time, she underwent delicate surgery to implant a metal rod in her spine. But instead of feeling sorry for herself, her indomitable spirit led her to turn every obstacle into a stepping stone toward greatness. Tanny began competing in wheelchair racing, and from that moment on, she learned the meaning of the words limit or defeat. Throughout her career, she has won 11 Paralympic gold medals, 4 silver medals, and 1 bronze medal, establishing her as Britain's most successful Paralympic athlete. Beyond the tracks, she has made her mark in other fields, such as when she was awarded the BBC Sports Personality of the Year award, and continued her legacy as a member of the House of Lords, where she tirelessly advocates for the rights of people with disabilities. Michael Henberry. We often believe that twins are identical in every way, unless you're Michael and his brother. Michael was the only one born with dysplasia, a hereditary condition that limited his height to 2 feet 11 inches and earned him the title of the smallest man in Britain. Michael is the kind of person who doesn't give up. So from a young age, he learned to challenge expectations. At 17, he got a job as a customs agent to live his life without letting his size limit him. Destiny had an even greater adventure in store for him, as in 1982, he learned that the production of Star Wars: Return of the Jedi was looking for short actors to portray the Ewoks, the Endor creatures that helped defeat the Galactic Empire. After auditioning, he amazed everyone and landed the role that marked the beginning of a career on the big screen. In 1986, he acted alongside David Bowie in Labyrinth, and 2 years later he joined the cast of Willow to solidify his place in the film industry. Additionally, his career continued in some of the most successful movies of all time, including when he portrayed one of the goblins from Gringotts Bank in the Harry Potter films. Rumeysa Gelgi. She is an extraordinary woman who turned her unique condition into a source of inspiration for the world. Born in Turkey in 1997, Rumeysa holds the Guinness World Record for being the tallest woman in the world, reaching an incredible height of 7 feet 1 inch. The reason behind her growth is due to Weaver syndrome, an extremely rare genetic disorder that accelerates body growth from an early age. While her impressive height makes her stand out, it has also brought enormous challenges. Since she was a child, she has required constant medical support and uses both walkers and wheelchairs due to muscle weakness. However, what could have been a reason for isolation became a powerful tool to raise awareness about diversity and rare diseases. In 2014, when she turned 17, she achieved her first Guinness World Record as the tallest teenager on the planet. And in 2021, she made history again by being recognized as the tallest woman in the world. Beyond her official achievements, this young Turkish woman has become a public figure with a clear mission: to inspire people to accept themselves as they are and celebrate their uniqueness. For this reason, with a great sense of humor and a positive attitude, she uses her social media to combat the stigma surrounding physical disabilities and teaches everyone that each person is valuable regardless of their differences. Joey. He is one of fewer than 1,000 people in the world living with fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva, one of the rarest and most devastating congenital diseases known to medicine. This degenerative condition progressively transforms muscles, tendons, and ligaments into bone, resulting in a series of bony bridges that immobilize the joints. Over time, patients like Joey develop a second internal skeleton that traps their organs and completely limits their ability to move. Despite using a wheelchair, needing a feeding tube, and requiring constant care 24/7, he maintains an inspiring attitude toward life. His positive outlook and ability to find joy in every little moment have made him a source of hope for many, and he uses his experience to raise awareness about this disease and help others accept themselves as they are. In this way, he sends a strong message of encouragement, telling them that even in the most difficult circumstances, it's possible to find reasons to keep moving forward. Itzhak Perlman. He is one of the most famous violinists in the world, not only for his extraordinary musical talent, but also for his ability to turn adversity into inspiration. Born in Tel Aviv in 1945, his childhood was interrupted when he contracted polio at the age of 4, a disease that affected his legs and left him using crutches and a wheelchair to get around. However, this physical limitation was never an obstacle to his dream of becoming one of the best musicians on the planet. From a young age, he showed prodigious talent with the violin. At 13, he made his big break when he was invited to perform on The Ed Sullivan Show and was even admitted to the prestigious Juilliard School in New York before starting his first concerts at Carnegie Hall in New York City. From that moment on, his career took off, making him one of the greatest violinists in history. Throughout his journey, he has performed in the most prestigious concert halls around the world, collaborated with all the major orchestras, and played the main theme of Schindler's List, which is considered one of the most emotional and revered pieces in the history of cinema. Kid Strobe. Known in the dance world as Frenchy Baby, he has dedicated his time since the age of 15 to training his body to master the art of bone breaking, a dance technique that defies the laws of physics with seemingly impossible movements. His extraordinary flexibility allows him to perform stunts that leave audiences in awe, leading him to coin the term triple joint to to describe his unique ability to move his arms in supernatural ways, as if they were made of rubber. This amazing skill has not only earned him recognition in the dance world, but also allowed him to join a dance team that performs live all over the world. Since then, he has shown in music videos for renowned hip-hop artists and undoubtedly achieved worldwide fame by participating in the 15th season of America's Got Talent. Thanks to his talent, which he honed with dedication and hard work, he has inspired his fans and countless others to pursue their dreams and break the barriers of what is considered possible. Now tell me, which of these individuals do you find most inspiring? Leave your opinion in the comments. Here are two options that you'll surely love.